would not be proud of this conversation that we're having.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He already would have been like making. He would have. He know what he would have done. He already would have put out our phone numbers.
Yeah.
To everybody, but they would have been the wrong phone numbers.
Of course.
Then when he did that shit with Trayvon Martin,
Yeah.
I know Zimmerman's number, I know his social security number, I know his address, and with some poor woman over in
Getting harassed.
Yeah, getting harassed. I'm gonna kill you. Why? What I do? Don't try to put on that voice, Zimmerman. Don't try to act like your mom. I know it's you. Spike Lee, man. Spike Lee's a very angry dude.
Yeah, he's very angry.
That's the thing about Spike Lee. When Spike Lee goes out and he makes a movie with whatever you say about it, whatever you think, whether good or bad, his heart is in it.
Yeah.
Spike Lee don't make a movie until he's angry.
Yeah.
Which is
then he got to get some shit off his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he should have a movie every day then. But the movie we're talking about is Chiraq. Chiraq, as I said, combination of Chicago and Iraq. Why they call it that? Because they say that it's so violent that it's comparable to combat zones in Iraq. They say that there have been more deaths by gunfire in Chicago than there were in any kind of Iraq war.
Yeah.
To date.
Yeah, people have died by gunfire in Chicago than special forces in Afghanistan.
In Iraq.
In Iraq, yeah.
Keep in mind, years of war in Iraq.
Right.
Negroes shooting each other.
Yeah.
In Chicago. Kill more people. And we get mad at like at terrorists. We doing terrorist job right there. You know.
On ourselves, yeah.
Here, what Spike Lee is addressing, he's saying that, you know what, the country itself has a lot of gun madness going on. But in Chicago, we really need to bring attention to that. And the way he's doing it is that he's doing it in the form of bringing in a Greek play. With that, he has the Spartans versus the Trojans. And they're fighting over nothing. Just ego, machismo.
Yeah.
And that women finally wake up one day and they're like, you know what, these niggas are stupid. One girl in particular, Lysistrata, she says, you know something? We got to stop this. And she says, you know something? I have an idea. People telling me I ain't got no power. Oh, yeah, I do. Right down here between my legs, Tommy.
Uh-oh.
Not my legs, but her legs.
Oh, no, no.
That mighty vajayjay.
Yeah.
She says, you know something? If we hold that vagina back, I mean, it's going to take some willpower, but I'm not talking about a day. I'm not talking about a week, but months. If we hold off for a few months, these men are going to lose their goddamn minds, and they ain't going to have no choice but to put those guns down. In the words of these girls, no peace, no pussy. All around, the chant heard all around the world. Okay. Spike, very noble guy. Spike Lee got his heart in the right place, but Spike Lee is fucking crazy. I'm telling you, you know,
You just now figuring that shit out?
whatever planet he's living on in his head,
Right.
whatever's going on in that world, it's fucking nuts.
That world has spiraled out of control. Clearly, you didn't see his last movie.
What was his last movie?
The Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Okay, so what was that like?
It was about some crazy shit. He's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it really was.
And however crazy that fucking planet is in his mind, he ain't leaving.
Nah,
You know, he's there to stay.
He's planting a flag.
That motherfucker's already colonized that shit. So therefore, if you want to see Spike, you got to come to his world.
Ah, fuck.
It's different genres of film going on. Every one of those things that he's doing, those different genres, those different stories, there's brilliance in every one of them. I think, at least, you know, it's. I know. I'm looking at Martin. I'm looking at Martin. See, I was so looking forward to this because I know Martin so well. When shit gets so crazy,
Yeah.
I know how to dig through craziness. I know how to rumble through them bushes and get to the other side. Martin, he can't get past that barrier, man. Them crazy bushes, he can't get past that shit.
Got a machete and everything.
Well, maybe I'm a bit more practical than you.
You know what? The thing is, Martin, here's the deal with you, brother. You really do. You look on the outside of things, and it's not because you're not smart. Don't say that at all. But you don't want to put no work in on some shit. You know, you like say, if I gotta like leave this movie and think about it, if I gotta dig through some bullshit to get to the good parts, you know, that's too much for me.
Well, can I just say one thing to defend
Please
myself?
do. Please do.
Everything you just said about me was what I came here prepared to say about you. Honestly, as much as I saw that first trailer and was talking shit about this, I thought this movie was brilliant.
You saying that now?
Yeah.
You think this movie was brilliant?
Yeah.
You really do.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite movies of this year, and I'm shocked. and what you just said about me, I was totally prepared to say, like, see, man, you like to see things from the outside, and you never dig deep, and you have no sense of artistic license. It's just funny to me sitting here, hearing you say it all about me, and at home I was thinking, that's exactly what I was going to say to you, because I was expecting you to come in and go like, man, this movie's insane, don't go see it. I was like, Wow. Okay.
Well, you know,
I mean,
Backfired on you.
because honestly, it's a Greek comedy. It's based on a play that was written in 411 BC, before Christ.
Exactly.
And it felt like a Broadway production that was adapted to the screen. But it's the kind of thing where I was like, you know what? I've seen Woody Allen do, he did Mighty Aphrodite that was based on a Greek tragedy.
Well,
Why not Spike Lee?
And you know something? That's the thing with this, is that this is no different from what they do with Shakespeare.
Exactly. It's so Shakespeare.
And
They do that shit all the time.
They do that shit with Shakespeare. I did 3 different versions of a Shakespeare play in high school, and none of them took place in Shakespeare's time. You know. On top of that, it's a hip hop turn on a Greek comedy, and so it works well. I mean, you got rap. Going along with rhymes from a Greek play, and the rhyming in this, I know it's hip hop, but the prose that they take with it, it is almost like ghetto Shakespeare, and it's extremely fucking clever, man.
It is. That's the thing that like, as much as I went in prepared for it not to be good and to be corny or over the top, I was like, there's some really clever writing going on.
I don't know if Spike Lee wrote this, but some of the
it was him and somebody else. And
Okay.
I imagine, Spike Lee probably had the ideas, and this other guy did the actual writing.
because whoever wrote these rhymes right here is not rap, and it's not them, trying to be Shakespeare. I will break dance for thou, nothing like that. It really is them taking urban vernacular and making it and delivering it eloquently. It's like the most eloquent way to talk shit to somebody.
Yeah.
We force our men to negotiate peace by exercising conscious self-control and total abstinence from knocking the boots. Repeat after me. I will deny all rights of access or entrance. I will deny all rights of access or entrance.
Until you need some of that dick, don't you women go out there and try this shit for real. This is
Don't listen to Korey. That's your fantasy.
No, hell no. Don't y'all listen to this shit, because you know what? Y'all gonna try this shit. And y'all look, women got needs just like men.
Hey, man, you're the one who corrected me before and brought up that it was done somewhere and it worked.
Did I?
Yeah.
That was me? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. How soon I forget? I ain't had no sex in a while. We got Baby Bat on the brain right now. You heard a little bit of rhyming in there, and they don't do it the whole time.
You don't have any of the clips with Samuel Jackson as Dolomite? I mean, Dolomites.
Dolomites? No.
He's Dolomite. He's using a lot of the Dolomite slang.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
In there.
It-
as sort of like a narrator.
Any of y'all remember Dolomite? Way down in the jungle deep, the sanctified monkey stepped on the lion's feet. Y'all probably don't remember that shit, but he was a famous comedian who spoke in rhyme, and Samuel Jackson is that guy.
Hey, Dolomites.
Welcome to Chiraq.
And he is great in the movie, man.
Yeah.
He has something. That's when I first listened to it. When he first started rhyming, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work through the whole movie, but they don't do it through the whole film, as you saw with the scene with the girls right there. But when he does it, that fool I could watch an hour and a half or 2 hours stand-up show with him doing some of the shit that he was doing.
I felt that way too.
There's a lot of people who can pull off this prose in the movie, and it's very funny. People like Dave Chappelle are able to pull this off. The choice to make this, speaking in this prose, as far as based on a Greek play, works very well, especially with Nick Cannon. We talk shit about Nick Cannon, but
It's hard not to.
Yeah, I've never been impressed by him until this.
But in this,
Even with the opening song.
oh yeah, and Wesley Snipes, when they start getting off, man, it's pretty impressive. Be or not to fucking be? That's the motherfucking question. If they did Shakespeare like that
I like
all the
that.
time, like I can't get into Shakespeare right now, but if they did it like that shit, I could watch that shit all day, man.
You know what? When I heard you two describe the trailer, and you asked me, did I see it? And I hadn't seen it at that moment. I went back and saw it. This shit looks amazing. And the way you were describing it, I was like, if this is what I think it is, and from the way you're describing it now, it is. I'm like, okay, then that sounds very creative and very,
It's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
And Spike Lee, I mean, the music's fantastic. Probably the best soundtrack of the year. I mean, there's so many great soundtracks this year, but this is one of them. Spike Lee really knows how to get good performances out of his actors. Like, you take everything else away from him, but everybody,
he's always been good.
Gives, I mean, even like John Cusack was awesome as the preacher. I was like, damn, I would go to his church. Actually, the only person who I didn't like that much was Wesley Snipes. He's great in some of the scenes, but his character is a little too like jokey and does this laugh.
Like sometimes
like
he's
from the 70s.
It's weird because sometimes he's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he just gets crazy. Like he turns into Cat Williams all of a sudden, baby. You know, it's weird shit that he's doing. It's like, hey man, you know, pick one.
Right.
But the movie really, I mean, when you talk about schizophrenic, it really bounces back and forth between being a big farce and then being very serious and emotional.
Yeah.
And the emotional stuff is really emotional.
That's the thing about it, man. Martin's right. Like Nick Cannon gives probably one of the most emotional performances that I've seen him ever do in his career. I remember when I saw him like early on when he was acting, I said I like Nick Cannon. Yeah. And I saw potential in Nick Cannon. This is the Nick Cannon that I actually wish he would be more often.
He would have evolved.
But only I get the feeling only under a certain director like Spike Lee can you get a performance out of somebody like him. Yeah. Martin's right, man. We laughed at John Cusack. John Cusack, he's just there to get them white hipsters that Spike Lee's always appealing to. Yeah. But John Cusack, he makes the most impactful speeches in this movie, with the exception of maybe one or two scenes. He probably gives some of the most urgent speeches in here that you take with dire sensitivity, man. Jennifer Hudson. I wish I had a clip of her, man, because she plays a woman who lost her daughter, where it was a stray bullet, and no crossfire. Negroes shooting at each other. And that scene with her breaking down and the way she's telling everybody can just look, she's like, yeah, what if it's you next? Oh, nobody want to say nothing. Everybody just kind of like, I really want to say something. I know. Damn, she's very moving, but shit, I ain't about to get shot myself.
And man, all I kept thinking about during that scene is like, you know, how in real life she came home to her family being killed.
That's what I was thinking too.
And
like,
oh yeah, Jesus. I know. For her to do this,
that,
I mean, that was real pain she's feeling. And Angela Bassett, boy.
Oh shit.
Angela Bassett is still fine as
hell.
hell.
Yeah, she's an American Horror Story. That's the only reason I watched it.
Man, one of them young sisters in here trying to say, "Oh, you gonna that old woman?" So I'm like, "Bitch, she looks better than you." she could fit right in with the young girls, man. Yeah. I'm like
cracked at all.
Her husband's Courtney B. Vance. I want to kill that motherfucker, man, so I can move in on this shit. The biggest highlights in here is a standout performance by Teyana Paris, and she commands that movie, man.
You ever seen her before?
I've never seen her before.
Me either.
Wasn't she in Dear White People?
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
That was her in Dear White People, man. She was the one that tried to appeal to all the white people and shit.
Oh, okay.
She was looking down, and she was like the self-hating dark girl.
Okay.
That girl commands the scene when she comes on, and is fine as fuck. Shit, I was gonna shoot you, Martin, but she said, "Put my gun down." I said, "Hey, no peace, no pussy," you know. I submit. But as much as I love the good in this movie, Spike Lee, when I say this, he's schizophrenic.
Yeah.
This is where it comes in. This is a comedy. This is a drama. It's also a cartoon, and it's also a musical. And under a better director, a more skilled director who knows how to make that stuff mesh, that's fine. But here it's not the case with me, man. Spike Lee always gonna have a message in his movies, and I admire that. I love that. He's one of the few directors out there who's using this medium to say something. But here, when they say that Spike Lee preaches to his people, he literally preaches to his people here. The movie stops, and there is a whole fucking sermon. It lasts for about a good 5 minutes, man. In movie time, that's long.
That is long, yeah.
It's good because John Cusack, I thought he was black for a moment. Are you tired, people? I know we want peace, people. Is she gonna go by without any justice? It's like, God damn, man. I thought he was just a bright Negro, you know? You didn't think that scene just kind of stopped the movie when he did that?
No, not at all. I mean, he was brilliant in it. And that was where I was expecting it to fall, and he was brilliant in it. And I was hung on every word he said. Like I said, I would go to that church. If he was here preaching like that, I would go to that church.
It didn't even get to you when he said, "Black people like us are suffering." I was like, wait a minute, brother. I'm a little caught up, man. No, that's not in the movie. Actually, they do a great job of explaining why he's there. It is really heartfelt, man. Yeah. You don't have to stop the movie to take me to church.
Perry.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, see, that's the thing. I hated a Tyler Perry movie because it feels so fake. And it's like, man, you had this big agenda. This was just something in the middle it felt organic, and I like the way it tied everything together.
It stopped for me. It felt like he was hanging out with Tyler Perry for a little while. Or maybe there was a guest director, guest director Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I kind of figured a lot of this has to do with it being an original play, but I don't think you have to like take it that literal in your own, because there's some scenes in there that really don't work, that try to be comedic. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have comedy in here. It is a comedy, but he does the drama so well.
It was something Shakespeare would do a lot. Would have a serious play, but would have something in it that was comical in a way that just was kind of like almost inappropriate. Like, hey, you didn't want to save that for a different show.
That ain't we ain't living in Shakespeare times. And this ain't goddamn Shakespeare either.
That's what he's trying to do.
You started out saying it was.
But it ain't.
It looks like that's what he's trying to do.
It ain't. It ain't. What he did here is, like I said, he does the drama so well that the comedy that he does is not. It's just so the other end of goofiness that doesn't work. There's one, like, you come from a scene where somebody's crying emotional about something, and then they'll cut to like a guy who ain't had sex so long. He's in a stretcher being pulled away to the hospital, chanting to himself, "Booty, booty, booty,
And that
booty,
scene
booty,
is
booty."
hilarious.
I don't think so, man.
The whole theater was laughing. Like, even people who were sitting there like this through the other parts, I heard them laughing on that scene.
Didn't hear me laughing. I wasn't laughing at that. Laughing at that shit.
Yeah, your silence was drowned out by everybody else laughing.
Why you sitting up here like you saw this shit?
Because I want to see it. I think I'm more going towards Martin.
What the fuck? How do you know? You
He's
ain't seen
selling
this
me
shit.
more
You know,
than you.
before that, you the main one talking shit about this. Yeah, fuck that movie.
I never said that.
In fact,
He
you were the
never said
one.
that.
I never said
you,
that.
Never
No,
said
man,
that.
you weren't here. He was here one day and we talking about this, and you even said, "Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you say about that bullshit." Now look at you.
I said you, not me.
And I'm not even saying this shit is bad. I'm not even saying it's bad.
Sounds like it.
No. I think it's moments of brilliance in there, man. I would even say go see the movie, man. I think it's a strong film, but for me, it's an ambitious film that is very uneven. If I saw the play, I read the play, maybe I could understand better those parts. But a lot of people are not going to see that play. And I think some of those parts are going to feel a little out of place right here. But the parts in there that I love. And you're not going to find anybody out there who cares about trying to speak to people through film like the passion of Spike Lee.
Yeah.
It almost hurts me to say that I give this a matinee, but I give it a high matinee, man. Wish I could go all the way to full price, but if it was just a little more consistent, I think the message could be delivered a little bit better.
I got the message loud and clear, and I came in as a naysayer. Completely won me over.
Expectations were low. That's what happened.
All right, man. Whatever you need.
I want this. I don't need this.
I mean, look. It's certainly if you are of a closed mind, you don't want to go with the artistic sensibilities. You can't sit there going like, man, this is crazy. What kind of bullshit is this? But if you just let it be what it is, there's so much to enjoy here. And like I said, with the exception of Wesley Snipes, half the time, I loved all the performances. I mean, it's tight. I expected Spike Lee to be sloppy. And that's what he was in so many of his early movies, where the humor is always kind of like, And especially with sex humor, it's so easy to just be crude and go for the low-hanging fruit. And every time I felt like it was going to do that, it was like, no, this is thinking higher than I thought. And I really dig this. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Full price.
Full price. I know. You just don't want to suffer the wrath of Spike Lee. You don't want him being mad at you. I know.
I don't give a shit about that.
I know, yeah.
But also, I mean, I guess it's going to be, released on Amazon Prime or something?
Yeah.
Honestly, like the way this movie looks, I mean, yeah, you could watch it on your TV, but I would encourage you to see it in the theater.
I would say
I think
that
it's
too.
a better experience there.
I will agree with you on there. Spike Lee, no matter what you say, he makes great looking films.
He does.
They said, Spike, why did you do this for Amazon? What made you take it there? Are they the only people that would like offer this sort of creative outlet? And Spike Lee said, no, everybody else said no.
He's honest.
Yeah, he said if he was mad too, he said everywhere. Sometimes you try something and everywhere you go, and this is his words, he said, you'll get no after motherfucking no. And he said, I went till I got a motherfucking yes.
And that's the thing. I feel like there used to be a time when you get movies like this so much it'd be like, oh yes, another one. And now it's so rare. So
I know.
So my hat's off to him for just being able to push through and get the goddamn thing made.
Martin, you'll see my point one day. When I keep that penis from you, you'll see. Yeah.
When you take your hat off, I'll see your point.
Yeah. When I hold this dick from you, you'll see, man. You'll see.
No penis.
No penis, no penis.
I think I'm gonna keep my gun.
You better, man. You might want to shoot me when I come in.